Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the stream of Swimmer Sync 227. I am your first commentator here, Nax, and I am joined by Carney. What's up?
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Swimmer Sync. This week, we are we're just going to take you guys right into Great White because we thought it would be funny. You don't get to see brackets. It's okay. You don't have to work. You don't get to see groups. You don't get to see groups. It's secret. It's secret.
Play in the tournament if you wanna find out. Yeah. All right. So we are looking at for game or set one here. MSCHF. I've been told that it is versus 3 degrees, which it seems Carney has a lot to say about. So I'm gonna give you the floor on that one.
Yay. I don't personally know anybody on 3 degrees, but I always see them around. And also, they were, like, if I remember correctly, one of the first people that I did commentary for, so I've just got, like, fond memories of them in my mind, in my brain space. On the side of 3, we've got Riv, Goliath, Silver, Agent, MSCHF's got Cap, Vital Astro Illusion, and Cool Ace, which, I feel like I recognize Vital Astra from somewhere, but I'll have to get back to that. Let's take a look at what we've got for our map mode selection. Oh, well, no, you guys don't get map mode.
We can look at the first one right now. That's gonna be Splat Zones on Robo Ramen. We're getting right into it. We're not wasting any time here. So we're gonna see MSCHF and then 3 degrees coming out here. What's that? We got the new Brush Junior. Okay.
Some really nice team comps. We've got Tetras on the side of MSCHF as well as, like you said, we see the Junior, we see the Pencil coming out, and the Vanilla Blaster versus the Custom Blaster over on 3 degrees. 3 has control of the zone in the first couple of seconds there before they end up going 2 down. MSCHF retaking control of the zone and moving into that elbow position to try and go for that Robo Ramen certified lockout.
Indeed, and talk about movement there from the Tetra Dualies over, but we're already seeing the counter down to 75 on the side of MSCHF, although 2 going to go down. Very, very skirmishy, like initial, that first take for 3 degrees went pretty fast, but maybe rushed into that a little fast because MSCHF was able to lock that down quite quickly, and now we're already looking at them with half of their points being ticked away. We're going to see the Kraken over here on zone, but not quite able to find anybody, and then going to have to hide away and say, oh, you didn't say anything. Ignore me.
We see over here on that elbow, the Blaster and the Tetras just both going absolutely ham on 3 degrees. Now we see Silver trying to go in with the bombs, with the triple splashdown here, just trying to get paint cover on that zone in order to prevent MSCHF to bleed them out any longer. And they do manage to get a really nice cap of the zone before ending up going 2 down, but that is 66 ticks of penalty that 3 degrees has to work with here before they get KO'd.
Indeed, and now this is going to be MSCHF's chance, or MSCHF's test rather, of them being able to set up here. So there, you can see they're pushed up like quite far right now and trying to lock things down for mid. But looks like 3 degrees is going to be able to sneak through a little bit with the Brush, and once again going to pop that Kraken and try and make something happen on zone here. But it looks like, the rest of the team wasn't really alive enough in order to be able to capitalize on that. So that push is going to be dead, and I don't know if they have enough time to be able to cinch this one out, Carney.
Yeah, no, they are really locked into their spawn, and with 2 going down in the moment, now we're single digits, 3 down. MSCHF takes the first game in a KO. It is the classic Robo Ramen gameplay here. Just push them all the way back up to their spawn and keep them locked up for as long as humanly possible. So unfortunately, that means that 3 is going to have to take this L underneath their belt. But don't count them out yet. They still have another 2 games to prove their worth and move forward into that bracket. We are going to be moving into tower control on Inkblot Art Academy, which I feel like I can definitely see kind of sort of the same comps that we have been seeing.
Yeah.
Because Bubble is bubble.
Yeah, I was going to say Bubble.
Like, Bubble is going to be there. I can imagine that we might stay with the Custom Blaster, especially because I feel like Triple Ink Strike is really good for that platform area right by second check.
Am I insane, or was there a period where people like to say that, like to be detractors of bubble on tower? Or was that, or did it get a buff or something that like made it more popular for that? Because I feel like there was a period where I heard people being like, "Oh, it's not as good as you think," but now it's like the whole MO. So
I feel like for some reason the last bubble change that I remember was a nerf. Like
Really?
I think I remember. I haven't really kept up with the
This
patch
is, like,
notes
far
because
back.
I don't really play as much anymore.
Mhm.
But the last thing I remember reading about bubble was that that it got shredded quicker. Either that or it got like shredded less quick. I can't remember, but I think there was a change to like the amount of damage that the bubble takes before it pops, and I can't remember which one it is.
Let us know in chat. We won't read it because we're focused on the stream.
I don't know if you know this, Nax, but I always have the Twitch open like on my phone while I'm doing commentary to farm channel points.
I roll with it. Don't worry about it.
Okay,
Don't even,
not
don't
worrying
worry
about it. Not worrying about it. I'm not worrying
We're
about
going
it.
to game 2 here. Tower control on Inkblot Art Academy, and it looks like you were right. Although that's going to be a Luna Blaster coming out now for colon 3 degrees.
Not even Luna Blaster, Luna Neo, despite all of the nerfs that have happened to it, with the stamp and the blaster itself, is going to be outshining loud and proud here. But we do see that Silver has opted to bring out the 52, I believe, was that change there, which I'm really excited to see. Riv there just on that heavy, moving that tower into position on first checkpoint. Now we see that stamp coming out, backing up on that bats area, looking for a kill, but that person does end up jumping out before that stamp gets their hands on them.
I don't know what it was that picked off 2 for MSCHF there, but that was very good timing on that pick. But we are already going to be seeing the tower at checkpoint 2 here for colon 3 degrees, and already past it. And TC on Inkblot, things can move really fast after you get past that second checkpoint. I mean, the last one especially. But this is already looking way better for colon 3 than I was expecting from the beginning of this.
No, absolutely. They are really capitalizing on those bats positions and making sure that MSCHF does not stand in their way. Now, 2 end up going down, but Cooler is up and about, and we are already just back on that platform, but it's looking like we're going to have to fall back just a little bit here as MSCHF manages to take that tower and attempt to move it into that neutral position here. We see Yosol with the bubble just ready to pop it at a moment's notice unless they do end up going down, but Silver from behind deep into enemy territory has been taking out the members of MSCHF, and it's 2 down on either side with another trade from the stamp to the bubble.
Interesting. Using the bubble there to survive for a little bit. So interesting that had to get popped early, and that kind of put a stall on, or kind of rather stopped MSCHF's opportunity to push there, even though there were a couple down on colon 3. There's kind of going to have to start from 0 here rather than what they maybe had an opportunity for before because of that fight. But there's 3 minutes left in this game. I definitely wouldn't count that just yet.
Yeah, it's only been 2 minutes since this game started, and colon 3 degrees is basically already almost won here. We can see that there is 1 down on either side here, and MSCHF is going to be going in classic tower cooler tactic here. That bubble is going to be popped not on the tower, but in fact, in that elbow area. We are already past checkpoint 1 here, moving forward to try and get that checkpoint 2 under their control, but 3 members of MSCHF going directly into that platform area, but it's not looking like they're able to capitalize much on that. But sneaky but not quite is the absolutely name of the game here. We're already past checkpoint 2, and MSCHF is just kind of taking the ball and roll with it. colon 3 degrees has to stop them now.
I was going to say earlier that I wouldn't have gotten too comfortable if I was colon 3 degrees because of how fast things can move here. And it looks like we're already seeing that come to fruition. But with the tower sitting at 21 points now and only 1 up on the side of colon 3 degrees. But that's also going to be, I guess everybody on MSCHF who was alive was back in spawn. So they're not quite able to get that lead by only 2 points. And that's got to hurt.
Yeah, no, 2 points till that lead swap. 1 minute and 40 seconds left on the match here. MSCHF is being forced back into that mid area, but 2 down. That blaster just absolutely putting in the work. Ledge playing that platform like nobody's business.
Do you know the blasters are good on ledges?
No, it's like the little tooltip pops up that says, "Did you know that blasters are good on ledges?" We've got the double bubble trouble here underneath that great area, popping that. And it is. Ooh, it is so close.
Is that gonna be? That's gonna be it. Okay.
Takes the lead.
Yeah, that was they were playing with my emotions a little bit there, but they are going to get past checkpoint 3, sitting at only 9 points now with 3 up on their side. That suction bomb is going to force you. What is that? UCL? I'm so sorry. Off the tower, and they are going to get stopped at only 1 point. But you know they're not even out of colon 3 spawn right now, so it could still not be over. But even then, even if it is over, yeah, good pick by the way. Even if it is over. That is going to require a knockout from colon 3 degrees, and that. But you know what? Okay, we do have 35 seconds here, but you know, we'll see what they can do with that time that they have left.
Yeah, colon 3 degrees, more like colon 3. I believe they can take this match and knock it out if they so choose.
You are full of these.
I am full of these, and I will continue saying really funny puns at you guys until you kick me off the mic. Now, one does end up going down on colon 3 degrees. That heavy being down alongside that Lunar Blaster is not going to be looking good because we're almost at the overtime scenario here. They do end up losing the tower, and we're going into overtime, and that's game because nobody has touched it. MSCHF taking it with 1 point to KO. That means that colon 3 is unfortunately going to be sent out of Great White Bracket, but kudos on them to making it thus this far. Now MSCHF has a suspiciously sandwich-shaped adversary ahead of them.
Oh dear!
The next round.
Oh dear! Yeah, I would be quaking in my boots if I saw those 2 loaves of bread coming over the horizon. Of which, of course, we are talking about Sub Eater, formerly Sun Eater. Great name. But yeah, no, that's going to be our first set here, and I think what really stood out to me, at least, was just the fights that were being taken on both sides, because with MSCHF they were really doing a good job falling in on players from colon 3, while colon 3 they were being caught out a lot more, kind of split up. We saw that in the first game a couple times with the Kraken on zone, and the rest of their team not being able to capitalize on that. So that's unfortunate, but good showing from MSCHF there. No,
absolutely, and like you said, there's a little bit of adversity up ahead for them because Sun Eater, if I remember correctly, was last week's winner. No,
indeed, against was it Doom Desire, right?
Mm-hmm.
We casted that. We should remember.
That's true. We did. We're back.
Yeah, we did.
More.
We're back. You can't get rid of us. We're like roaches that you stomp on, and we just keep coming back. But I don't know how soon we are to like where. Did they finish their set? I guess they would have had to for us to know that. Yeah. So I don't know if we're not going to that one though.
Done, I believe. I think we're the first people done. Or nope, actually, 1.8 has just finished their set. So it's looking like we are still waiting on our set to be casted to see who is going to be facing off against our #1 seed. So I feel like now is a perfect time to maybe take a quick break and have like a little drinky drink or maybe a snack of some kind. What say you?
True. I'm okay with that. I got a drinky drink. No snacky snack, but
we will be right back with the next round.
Yup.
Hello and welcome back to Swim or Sink. My name is Carney and I am joined here with Nax if you weren't watching before. Welcome to round 2 of the Great White Bracket. Now coming at you live, we've got our Seed 4 versus our Seed 13 Sun versus Lost and Found Sharp Dressers. So completely different branch of the bracket than what we were dealing with beforehand. Do we have anything to say about these two teams? Because I genuinely don't recognize any of these people, which is always exciting.
Yeah, all I see is learning to be had is about the world around me, and isn't that beautiful?
Absolutely. And oh my god, sorry, my cat is just bunting the absolute heck out of my monitor, begging for attention. Not the orange one, the gray and white one, and he's just wiggling my monitor, and it's really hard for me to focus on.
Your gray and white one wants to be on the Great White Bracket.
He does. He says, I'm a shark.
No,
so looking ahead at the map modes, we've got, first off, Splat Zone's Hagglefish, which is... It's your bread and butter of your tournament content. Like, everybody knows Hagglefish. It's either played on Zones or Tower, and there's no in between. Played on Museum de Alfonsino as well, I feel like. Yeah.
No, I'm not. I mean, keeping it a buck, we keep it pretty vanilla with the map mode picks here. But hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. So we're going into game 1 here on Splat Zone's Hagglefish Market of Sun versus Lost and Found Sharp Dressers, and that is 2 bucket variants at least, I guess, coming up over on the side of Sun. So we're going to see how things play out here. But what are you thinking about these comps right now, Carney?
Icy Nautilus.
Oh yes, indeed. Not your favorite one though.
Not my main Nautilus, but still a Nautilus nevertheless. It was the Nautilus that I started out with. We see that Reef Slider going out, looking like we're gonna try and maybe get some picks. Does not end up working. Lost and Found looking like they're gonna maybe try get back in control of that zone, but they're not anywhere close to the zone. But the painting power of the pencil proves them otherwise, and that Nautilus, in true Knot fashion, is just going right up in there, backing up the rest of their teammates. We see that Inkstorm being thrown out as well, and they're just pushing the rest of Sun really back far into their spawn.
Yeah, no, this is, it's looking like the way you want to play a zones game right here, right? They managed to wait or get through that first skirmish there, and they're locking things down a bit here. But there are going to be 2 specials ready on the side of Sun, and one gets popped over from Lost and Found. I don't know who just jumped out there, but we are going to see that Reef Slider come out, and that is a clean double. Very nice. And a triple. That's going to be very good for Sun as they set things back up here, and they take the zone, and they hit Lost and Found right back with exactly what they hit.
They call it the Dread Ringer because they dread playing against it the way it's insane. And another 2 picks onto Lost and Found with that triple splashdown. Now Sun is in control of the game. We see those whale lines coming out, but it's not looking like they're going to maybe do anything here. Sippies are going to be out for Sun, and they still have a solid control of the zone, but they have moved out of Lost and Found's spawn area. That stamp is going onto the side. I'm not really sure what we're going to be doing here, but it's looking like that fight in the left side is going to end with the Luna Blaster taking it, moving forward into that spawn area, but the lead has already been swapped, and it is still going because we're down into the single digits.
Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be much to be done here. We are going to see that whale coming out, and that combined with the rain is enough to stop the zone temporarily, but nobody on Lost and Found able to capitalize on it. And that game is going to close out. First game going to Sun.
Yeah, and a KO at that.
True.
Really super solid knockout too, because we did see that while Lost and Found had it under their control for a little bit there, I don't want to say they stumbled, but it's just kind of like the situation where a snowball kind of leads into an avalanche, and you just can't really recover well from that, especially with, I feel like I did see a little bit of, I don't want to say like uncoordination, but I feel like they weren't in the zone ready to retake when they should have been.
That's true, and let me tell you what I saw with these 2 little peepers of mine. I saw great special usage coming out from Sun. That was like several great specials getting like doubles or more, or at least combined with regular picks in a row. And that was great for the takes, but also the defense, because they pushed up really far up into the plat, and we saw great usage of specials there. So, I mean, sometimes it really just comes down to that. But good opening from Lost and Found, but Sun able to keep their heads on, and play things the way you want to play them, and able to take that game. But we're now going to game 2, Clam Blitz on Museum de Alfonsino.
Gambits, and we're sticking with this Gambits, and we're sticking with the same comps, I think, if I do see with my peepers correctly there. Which, honestly, I feel like might work a little bit more towards Lost and Found's favor here, because that stamp is going to be really pivotal for getting Power Clam cheese into the basket.
Very true. However, that initial scrum is going to see one down, and then another goes down with that slider. That was... I'm not sure what was going on with that jump back to spawn there, but whatever. So that is, not too much happening right there. Able to get a pick there on the side of Lost and Found, and Sun is looking to make a move here. Those tri-strikes are going to hopefully give them a little bit of a smoke screen in order to move in, but not quite going for that yet, seeing as Lost and Found still has some people set up by the basket. Probably going to need another special to come out here in order to break through, because there's... On this map, they can jump you from like 30 different angles if you run in there too fast. So play it smart, play it careful. But Woke able to get a pick there, and it looks like that first push for Sun isn't quite going to happen.
Yeah, no, they had a second power clam built, and it's looking like they were gonna try and go for the double power clam whammy there, but it really didn't work out. We see that Stamp coming out on that platform, looking to try and get a pick, does end up going down to 5 million specials all at once. Not only was the triple, the triple splashdown now, was also the triple ink strike. We do see a really solid double here. 3 down on Lost and Found, though, and it's looking like that Luna Blaster is the only one alive here.
Talk about a hero. That was a triple, right? Yeah. Yeah. Good job on the Luna there. But we are... Yeah, so that's going to be... Let's see. They don't really have clam economy right now, though. So I was going to say they're pushed up really far. At least Nedja is there, but not too much economy in order to capitalize. However, 3 going to go down for Sun, so that hopefully will give them... Yes, that's going to give Lost and Found a chance in order to build things up and get an initial push going here. We're going to see if they can manage to keep things going. That Killer Whale hopefully going to keep Sun a little bit at bay, but not quite enough. And they're about to have those tri-strikes ready, which is going to be very advantageous here, and maybe Sun will be able to reset.
Yeah, and while they did bring it down to 59 points, 2 power clams and a spare clam could really make or break this this lead here. We do see that Nedja is just going absolutely insane, trying to get anybody's picks in their sights. We do see that Reef Slider coming in with that Power Clam, does end up getting a pick, not able to really get another, but that Power Clam does make it into the basket somehow. But before they could get the second one in, they wipe out, which means that Lost and Found has a chance to reclaim their clams. And not only that, but they have a pity clam now.
Indeed, that's what I like to call the Clam Blitz special, Carney, which is, well, what's, in some cases it can all, there's a couple different recipes for it. One is just a single power clam into the basket. The other is a single power clam plus 1 regular clam. Though either of those I'll call the Clam Blitz special. But unfortunately, that is going to be the end of that push for Sun. But some decent picks here, and they're looking like they're looking to take down mid here. Once not quite able to get those picks with the Reef Slider, though.
Does end up jumping out really super solid before they can end up going down. We see that Once is still looking to try and take over that ramp. We see Louise here gets a really solid double as we're moving forward. Nedja trying to get Once out of that area, does end up going down mid-stamp, and it's now Sun's turn to just push that ramp as much as humanly possible, because we do have a power clam in their possession, plus another couple of clams, 2 power clams. My bad. We're juggling 2 power clams. This is
plenty of specials ready. Once not quite able to get that pick. However, a jump is going to come in and able to get another clam in. But nobody, again, this is another Clam Blitz special. Nobody around to capitalize on it, unfortunately. It looked like maybe that plan was in motion a little bit, or at least decided a little bit before the rest of the team was able to react to it, unfortunately. So again, not going to be able to make that push happen here. And I mean, only 35 seconds left in this game, Carney. I don't even know if Lost and Found really needs to do that much at this point. I maybe just hoard clam economy, but I mean, that's just me.
Yeah, no, if I were Lost and Found, I'd start tossing those clams into the water beside them to try and get rid of them before Sun can get their hand on them. We see that Neja here doing a really good job of, like we said, doing that ledge play. The blasters be thriving on Museum de Alfonsino. We see both of these clam baskets just kind of empty. Everybody's duking it out in mid, 3 going down on Sun. It's looking like Lost and Found is going to be taking that game 2, forcing a game 3.
Interesting. So, very stark shift over there from what we saw in game 1, which you love to see, honestly. I love a game 3, game 5, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. But what do you think Lost and Found was doing differently there, Carney, to be able to cinch that one and have things way more under control? Because a lot was happening that game.
No, a lot definitely was happening. I feel like the use of the Luna Blaster in this game was a lot more, I don't want to say pivotal. It was a lot, because there are so many ledges, and it did have a really decent influence because there are so many ledges in Museum de Alfonsino for that blaster to capitalize on. I feel like the paint control kind of found itself more often than not in the favor of Lost and Found. And not only that, but they did have a super rock solid defense, which defense isn't the best offense most of the time, but that game it really felt like it,
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think I might be having internet issues because things just cut out there. I might be roboting.
It's okay. I can take it from here. It's looking like we are going to be jumping in. Not many comp changes. Once again, we have not swapped off of the same comps that we have had from that first game here. We're moving into that zone really easy peasy. We're on Mako Mart now, so even more opportunities for that ledge play to come into motion here. 2 down on Sun as Lost and Found Sharp Dressers here does take control of the zone first. We're going to be seeing a jump out from Once, looking to maybe also capitalize on that ledge gameplay as the bucket here, but Sun does end up grabbing the zone and taking the lead, which is surprising.
Am I alive? I'm so
I can hear you. Okay.
Cool. I think, I'm in Texas, and I think maybe the storms are still having some impact. I don't know, something going on. But all right, where was I? Things were I was looking at a slideshow for a second here. But yeah, okay, that's lead for Sun, and those tri-strikes coming out. Honestly, maybe a little bit early. I maybe would have hung on to those a little bit longer when we had more for Lost and Found up. But okay, I'm frozen.
It's okay. We're down to 30 ticks remaining here. Sun still solidly in the lead. They're looking like they're going to try and just take this all the way to that KO. Once does end up going down to the Ink Storm, which is really unfortunate. 2 down now on either team, but we are still in control here. Sun down to the single digits, looking like it's not going to look good for Lost and Found unless they can get that zone capped here and now. We're moving in with that Reef Slider, and that cheese means that Sun ends up taking the game 2-1 against Lost and Found, and is going to be moving forward into our best of 5 semifinals. And I do have some exciting news for you guys. MSCHF has won over Sub Eater.
Oh!
Yeah!
No way. Also, hello. Y'all, what y'all know about commentating from your phone?
I've been there. I've been there, done that. No, MSCHF won against Sub Eater and is going to be going against our number 3 seed. So just to put this in context, Sub Eater is a pickup from Sun Eater, if I remember correctly. They won our last SOS and have won several SOSs. Pretty decently solid team. They were our seed number 2, our sub number 2. I always got sandwich on the brain. MSCHF was our seed number 7, and not only did they take it against :3, take it against Sub Eater, but now they are going against our number 3 seed all in during the semifinals. Now they've got 5 games to really get familiar with each other here before they potentially move into finals, but really super solid games from everyone all around here, and I'm really excited to see what these teams have to offer. Now, another thing I want to point out, that's my GOAT 49er over on the side of All In.
Shout out.
Shout out, 49er.
I can't elaborate. I'm so sorry. but shout out. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, no, that's great. Has MSCHF... Okay, so apologies if this was discussed previously, but they in previous SOSs, what does it look like with that?
I have no idea because I think they might be a pickup. I can't access their team page at all.
Okay, gotcha.
But they have a, out of their map wins, they have a 91% map win. So they've won 10 out of the 11 maps that they've played on. They've won all 5 sets that they've played on.
We have a mysterious team that has entered SOS this week, everybody. ready to cause trouble.
Someone in the chat is wondering what 49er did to deserve this, because they're curious. I am in New England. 49er frequents New Ink LAN, which is our Boston LAN, and I've just kind of it's just kind of like a biased cheer on because like the New England buddies got to stick together.
Yeah, that's what's up. Got to do that. So, looking at Umami Ruins Splatoon here, this is always an interesting one to me. Split zones is interesting. I think Umami makes it work well. It's because they're like compact, but you still have to work around that raised mid, which is interesting. But I don't have too much to say regarding, because I don't really know much about comps and stuff that come out from these teams. But we're going to be doing zones Umami, then guaranteed tower control ship shape, and then clans. Tower control ship shape to be fun. That's all that. Tower control ship shape is a hoot. I'll tell you that.
Well, I can tell you what 49er's going to be bringing. I'm pretty sure 49er's going to be bringing the brush. And lo and behold, it's like I'm some sort of prophet. Moving in here, I see that MSCHF has brought out the same comp with the double bubble here. We could see All In bringing out the heavy edit as well as the 96 gal, which is a really interesting combo, but I feel like it's definitely going to work on this split zones map.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, sorry, I'm looking at a small phone here. What specials, which 96 is that special?
I don't think that's is that the Kraken? I don't think that's the Kraken one. It's VAC! It's VAC!
Oh, VAC. Okay. Gotcha.
VAC Gaming.
Gotcha. It's VAC. All right. VAC Gaming indeed, but VAC Gaming not quite. Actually, no. VAC Gaming, yes. VAC Gaming is coming out, and as well as a Zipcaster, but not quite able to capitalize with that. And that zone is being held down by MSCHF right now, rather decidedly. Big Bubbler up there going to protect I Like You, which is a great name to be saying. But this timer's already down at 30, Cardi.
Yeah, no, insane plays from that blaster. I feel like the double bubble is really helping MSCHF just stay in that spawn area, making sure that All In is not getting any sort of usage out of their weapons or specials. We're already down to the KO as MSCHF takes it in a decisive knockout, like super duper fast. So really, really interesting how because I feel like ideally you wouldn't want to run the double bubble because it's like you're missing out on a pushing special, but they make it work, and they make it work well.
Yeah, no, it's impressive. They're, MSCHF, they were able to have their meal of a sub sandwich just before this, and they're ready and full of nutrients and ready to go. So we are going to be moving right on after that to Tower Control Ship Shape Cargo Co. So what are you thinking about these teams' comps and how they'll play on this one?
I am kind of scared about the double bubble here on Tower Control because we saw how MSCHF played during the Inkblot Tower game where they were able to just grab and snag
the opposing
team here. And tower control on ship shape is kind of interesting because the map changes in such a way where the double bubble, I feel like, is going to be pretty advantageous, especially in that open area between first and second check.
Okay. Well, we'll see if they're able to take advantage of that. I definitely would not count them out. But here we go for game 2 on ship shape, tower control on ship shape Cargo Co. There's going to be a Splatoon wiper coming out there. Then there's going to be, yes, yep, more of that double bubble, unsurprisingly.
But I do want to point out that we've swapped over to the Forge Pro here, getting a Booyah Bomb for their trouble.
Indeed.
That Wiper does end up going down as MSCHF moving forward, takes the tower. We've already got Bubble Gaming here. That Junior just easily snagging that bubble and popping it on there. 2 down on MSCHF, though, means that All In does have a chance to go all in and try and move that tower forward. Titan pushing forward with that Booyah Bomb, looking like they're not going to find any sort of purchase off of it, but that does mean that the rest of MSCHF is backed up into their spawn area, which is good for them.
Indeed, yeah, I might have held on to that Booyah Bomb a little bit longer, but it looks like they were just trying to make sure they had a solid lockdown on mid there in order to get their push moving, which is moving at this point, and that's going to be 2 down on the side of MSCHF, already sitting at that first checkpoint, after which things can move that's going to be second checkpoint, or no, first checkpoint, yes, indeed. After which things can move very quickly here. So All In already sitting at 40 points, and that's going to be a cooler coming out for MSCHF, and maybe, but you know what, not quite able to get too much, that's not a killing special, and that Booyah Bomb is going to give a little bit more space for All In here as they make it to checkpoint 2.
We see that we do get a super solid double pick here as All In, like you said, moving into that checkpoint 2. Looks like that blaster is fighting the pen for its life. Does end up splatting T-Loser here as we're moving up, trying to get any sort of purchase. 2 down going on All In as MSCHF ends up taking the tower under their control. 31-87 now. We're going to be moving forward into that open area where you can get a lot of points here, but we do have both of those bubbles ready to be active at any given time, and we do see that it's just kind of like a sword fight over in that little corridor area. We swapped over to a brief sword fight, which is really fun.
Oh, yep, absolutely. But that is checkpoint 1 for MSCHF happening right here. They have another bubble already, which is going to be incredibly advantageous at this choke that we're getting to right here. And there's 2 down on the side of All In. Actually, it's very brief 3 down, which is not where they're going to want to be sitting. That bubbler is going to come out and help them get that checkpoint and take the lead, and they are already sitting at 20 points.
Yeah, we're already past checkpoint 2. Now it is now or never for All In to move them out of that area and just try and get that. But like you said, the bubble in that choke point means that MSCHF is going to be taking that game in a KO. Once again, really unfortunate here is just the double bubble seems like it's unstoppable.
Yeah, no, I mean it's not too surprising. I'm wondering what was the map mode coming on after this?
Cambits.
Clam Barnacle. Okay, Cambits. I know a specific person in chat will be very happy about that. But I'm wondering, so we had Zones, Umami, and stuff. They managed to make their double bubble work there, and obviously that's going to be see the most impact on tower control. Clamblitz Barnacle is interesting. I can see places for it, but with how aggressive Clamblitz is, I'm wondering if that'll play quite as well. But that's just me.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think of a place in Barnacle and Dime where a double bubble would be advantageous to run, but I'm just really coming up blank. I can see it on Plat, I can see it underneath the basket in the kill zone, but I'm really drawing a blank here on where else they could possibly capitalize on the bubble gameplay. But seeing as they haven't swapped comps this entire time, I doubt we're going to see any swaps from them. There are going to be no bogs, no marshes, no fens, none of that here.
Wait, sorry. Okay, my internet cut out for a second. What were you?
I accidentally said swamp instead of swap, so I just went on an anti-wetlands rant.
No.
This is not the true me.
This is
I
not a
love
swamp
bogs.
stream. This is a
I
bog
love
stream.
bogs.
If you don't like bogs, you're no. I'm kidding. You're allowed to not like bogs. All right. We're can you tell we're stalling for things to say here? Okay. So
It's fine. It's fine. The
yeah.
people love a little bit of goofiness and
Mhm.
whimsy. My legal name is
That's
not
true.
Carnival for me to not be joyous and whimsical.
Is your legal name Carnival?
My full online name is Carnival. Yes, it is not carnivore. It is carnival, like the circus.
Yeah, indeed. Yep. Are we? Uh-oh.
We're going
All right,
in.
that looked a little dicey for a second there. All right, here we go. Game 3, Glam Blitz, Barnacle, and Dime. There's a Tri-Slosher coming out.
Ooh. Not only a
And a heavy.
Tri-Slosher, but Tri-Nouveau alongside that heavy. So we're going to be seeing some wave breaker gameplay here from All In moving forward. It's looking like All In's going to just immediately make a beeline towards Clam Blitz. And I bet 49ers over there just having an absolute field day on that brush now.
No, yeah, absolutely. And that double bubble is not going anywhere for MSCHF. They're sticking to their guns here, quite literally speaking. However, not going to have any double bubbles to protect them from that fight in mid there as All In scrambles in order to get their first push going, and that power clan comes in. They already have another one to follow it up with, and those points are already at 57.
I just want to point out what 49er was doing over there with the Zipcaster, going not through that little glass gap, but around the glass gap over the water. You are absolutely insane, affectionately. Like, that was some really dangerous gameplay. Now, All In does end up going 3 down, but they do have a really solid amount of points on the board, 4,200 now. As MSCHF moves forward, we see that the Bubble Bearing Jr. is going to be collecting clams on that platform. They have the bubble in the back pocket, looking like they're going to try and make some use out of it if they can get close enough to that basket, but they got to pop it early for protection now, just standing their ground on that platform, but they have to move back to grab some sippies and build a clam.
Yeah, and then that Reef Slider going to come out and unfortunately going to get punished. Not quite the most advantageous place for that to land. However, we are going to see people jumping in once again for MSCHF here as they try to set up. That bubble is getting ready. Unfortunately, going to be shut down by the brush there and gets an assist there. So not able to get a push here. And All In, I think, you know what? I think what we were talking about before with the bubblers is in fact kind of applying here this game, Carney.
Yeah, I can definitely see the usefulness of the bubbles now that we're actually in mid-gameplay, but All In is still all in on that platform area. We do see Loser does end up going down, and the Pencil just moving forward into that mid area. They're really trying to take control of a lot of that mid before they go forward, which is a really good thing to be doing because you want to have that paint power. You want to have those clams in your possession before you can go forward. Now, they do have a pity clam to their name, and then solid like 7-ish clams now that they have thrown that bubble into the clam into the basket with the bubble underneath it now, and the clams just keep coming. They're gonna try and maybe jump in with that power clam, and they do, and now it's 42-42. Not a clam in sight for MSCHF, though. They gotta put a clam in the basket now if they want to be able to get the lead, and a single power clam, or a single regular clam from that junior here does end up swapping the lead back into their favor. 42-39 now with 2 minutes left on the clock.
I don't know who that was that got that last clam in there, but that was a heroic play. Yeah. And so to clarify what I was saying a second before, I was actually feeling a little bit doubtful about the double bubblers because it seemed like MSCHF was having trouble with aggression there in order to make pushes, which maybe still is the case. Given it's not, entry specials. But as I say that, sorry, I'm getting distracted with unimportant things right now. That's going to be lead going right back to All In as they get another power clam in there, and guys are going to come out. Look at me yapping. Meanwhile, the times of battle are shifting.
Ooh! And Niner gets that clam into that basket.
Cool.
Now, All In was only 2 clams away from getting that KO. But it's looking like that MSCHF is going to be trying to go into that push.
All In was just a couple clams away from being all in another way, but unfortunately not going to be able to happen. Now 3 specials. Okay, scratch that 1 special ready on the side of Mischief. Gonna have to get shut down there, and that bubble isn't gonna quite accomplish what it wants to do. Reach Slider is gonna be ready, but this is gonna need to be a good push here for Mischief.
Yeah, no, they've got to get a pretty decent amount of power clams plus baby clams into that basket in order to get that lead swap back in their favor. 30 seconds left on the clock now. All In is defending with their life into that kill zone here. We see the Sippies coming out, and the bubbles are going to be online here shortly. They are in the back pocket. They just need a power clam. They throw the power clam into that basket now, and they do have a pity back at their base that they can grab if necessary. And the clams are going to start slowly siphoning their way in. All In's got to do it now if they want to make sure that Mischief does not win. That power clam being thrown in means that there's 17, 14, 11, and 3 down on All In. We're looking like that Mischief is going to try and take the win, and they do manage to take that win in overtime with a push of a lifetime here, knocking All In out of the game and pushing forward into our finals for Great White.
Mischief having to make a couple... Yeah. Mischief having to make a couple trips back to the grocery store there for some clams, but able miraculously to come back in time despite it all, and 3-0ing that set despite the troubles. You know, All In, they had me going there. I thought, I was watching that, I was really thinking that one was going to go on their side. And you know, I owe an apology to Mischief, I guess. I apologize for doubting your double bubble game, at least in this scenario.
Double bubble, toil and trouble, or whatever.
Yeah, and true, but that is going to be our semis. Do we have finals ready?
No, finals are not ready yet. We're still waiting on... Oh my god, Sendo just gave me a connection error. Come on, baby girl, let me back in. So we are
what is
still
going on
waiting
tonight right now?
I don't know. I feel like the internet for everyone's just kind of been all over the place. Now, calling out... Yeah, it's 1-0 for calling out over Sun now. So we still have a little bit of time before finals are finalized. So I feel like now would be a really good time for us to go to break. So make sure to get a drink, get a snack. Let's do a quick break. We'll be back with your finals.
Dude, that was a bar.
you remember that day when we were so young? Boom, 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 my heart was so done. Looking at the hearts it broke one by one. So soon, no, I'm not the
Hello, everybody. So sorry about the wait. Welcome back to Swim or Sink. Finals are happening right now. Calling out in VC is Crazy versus MSCHF. Here, we are going to be seeing our number 1 seed pitting up against our number 7 here for the finals. Winner takes all, as well as the SOS Crate White title underneath their belt. I don't think we have seen Calling Out's comp before. So,
No. Yeah.
really interesting to see what they're going to be bringing against the double bubble trouble that MSCHF has been running.
Mm-hmm.
Call that a bunch of mischief.
Oh,
Oh,
this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Carney's a master of this stuff, y'all. But
I've had years of practice. Don't worry.
oh yeah. No, I can tell when there's a master at work in my presence, or when I'm in the presence of a master at work would be better to say. But getting right into things, we're looking at game 1, Splat Zones on Robo Ramen once again. I don't really have anything too new to say here, besides still love it. Is good.
It's Robo Ramen.
That's true. It is. All right, here we go. Game 1, Splat Zones, Robo Ramen, MSCHF versus Calling Out in VC is Crazy. Is that a Squiffer I see?
Ooh.
Okay. Oh my god, and a stringer and the Explo and the Dapples. Oh wow. Okay, so you want to talk about comps? This is plenty to talk about now.
What kind of comp is this? We've got a stringer, an Explo, a Squiffer, and the Dapples all running into this ramen shop. That is absolutely diabolical.
We're looking at a found family of misfits kind of comp right now. But anyway, all that being said, with that comp, they have managed to secure the zone with that first take there, getting that timer down to 80. Still kind of sitting around in mid a little bit. Looks like probably mostly because MSCHF is already pushed up somewhat and does have a special ready from the Dapple dualies there. So VC able to get that, it has that zone locked down, not seeing much of an entry from MSCHF, but also VC not, or Calling Out, I'll say to shorten, not really pushed up to lock things down too much yet, although that timer is at 40.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of confused because, like, dog, who is the front line here when all you've got are 3 backlines and a Dapple?
Frontline stringer, trust.
Frontline stringer, trust. I'm sure that Wings, who is overseeing our commentary, is in full agreement with us during this. Now, to end up going down on VC, MSCHF moving forward, they do have control of the zone. They're going to be moving forward, trying to get control of that elbow. Sully does get a really nice pick, moves forward with that Squiffer, just doing the really good bubble plays here. Does end up capping the zone. Now it's 36-53. 40 ticks a penalty on Calling Out, but they do have the triple splashdown at their disposal on that C Explo.
Yeah, and that's a flip right back. Yeah, no, this is so far interestingly a fairly clean game, I would say so far. Just kind of like a very nice direct there, going to be taken, but yeah, very very cleanly things going right back and forth. Although as I say that, it looks like we might be looking at another take for MSCHF here. 6-7. God, I hate having to say that out loud. 6-7 barely able to avoid that triple splashdown there, and that take is going to go right back to MSCHF with not too much penalty to get through.
Yeah, we see that Inkjet coming out, looking like they're going to maybe try and get really good paint control over zone. Not really able to do much. Nightmare splash downing that bubble like their life depends on it. They do take control of the zone once again. Gets a really nice assist on one of the members of MSCHF. MSCHF does end up going 2 down. Sully over here just... I'm sorry, wait, is Sully running Ninja Squid on that Squiffer?
Are they? That's...
Oh,
okay, no.
Okay, they were just moving really slowly through the ink. I was like, that is some insane Squiffer behavior on a level that I don't even want to try and analyze. So
Sully's their front line.
Sully is their front line.
Indeed. All right. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's totally fine. We do see that we're going to be going down to the teens now. Calling Out in VC does end up going 2 down, which means that MSCHF takes control of the zone, beginning to work through their penalty points.
So now this is going to have to be MSCHF is going to want to set up here. They do have a special ready with the blaster there, but they are through those penalty points, but specials are already ready for calling out in VC, and that's going to apply pressure again with point sensors and everything coming out. So yeah, MSCHF not quite able to get a chance to lock that zone down, able to bring that timer down a little bit, but once again, going to have a penalty stacked on there. And Nightmare here with this Explo, man. It's just like, just loves to. This is reminding me of what I said last week about when tri-stringers or when stringers in general like casually just grab a pick and like act like they're half asleep doing it. But anyway, I'm yapping. That is going to be MSCHF with the zone once again, and we'll see if they can lock things down a little bit here. The player numbers are more balanced, and now that timer is ticking down.
Yeah, but there is only a minute left on the clock. VC has to get control of the zone lest MSCHF takes it out of hand here. 2 down on MSCHF as calling out, and VC does end up capping that zone, and they've just got to hold it for another 45 seconds in order to seal the deal and get that win. Really solid trade here, as we can see 2 go down on calling out in VC. MSCHF just really pushed all the way back up into that elbow area. Nightmare, like you said, just doing the work with that Explo, making sure that nobody is left remaining to stand in their way. That bubble being popped over on that corner, but VC still in control of the zone. Less than 15 seconds remain on the clock. Now MSCHF is in control, and it's looking like it's going to be pretty tight.
Unfortunately, that reef slider didn't seem to go exactly as they were hoping for there, as whoever used it was able to get punished for that, unfortunately. However, they are still in control of the zone, and that penalty is actually quite low. So there's a very real chance they could take the lead here in overtime. And actually, you know what? I think they're going to do it. Yeah. So that's game one. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that snuck up on me a little bit. I can't lie.
I feel like VC fumbled a little bit there on that last little bit. They allowed MSCHF to move forward, cap the zone, and then keep them in elbow, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, that was weird. I mean, I guess that there was a trade that happened there with I know the reef slider pushed 2 off of the elbow, and then one of them went down. I forget to what. So I guess just there weren't enough people like further up enough from VC in order to take it back, because otherwise I would have said that would have been a good opportunity for them to just retake. I thought they would have had it in the bag, but I guess not.
We're going to be moving forward to Clamblitz on Umami Ruins. So another Umami map, but this time Clamblitz instead of Splat Zones here. Now, I'm really curious as to see if we're going to be seeing any comp switches from VC, because Clamblitz is first and foremost a fast-paced mode. You want to be fast with the clams. You want to make sure that you've got a lot of paint coverage to make sure that your clams are spawning in the correct areas. And you want to be, especially on Umami Ruins, in and out with the power clams, and I'm not really sure that a slower comp like VC is running is going to be able to put in the work and put in the effort to get those clams really fast into that basket, unless we've got some Hail Mary plays from that just absolutely insane Squiffer. Like,
I saw Project Hail Mary. What's it?
Ooh.
Okay.
Swiffer has subbed out. Ooh.
Okay, so Swiffer was okay. I assume that's the that was Swiffer player. Okay, gotcha. I got derailed there, but no, all good. But what was I gonna go with that? Oh yeah, clams, umami and stuff. Yeah, no, I kind of agree with you on that, Carney, because while they, for the most part in that game, held things down fairly well, at least they were able to get a couple fairly hefty pushes. VC was. I didn't really see much. I'm not seeing a lot of movement. I didn't see too much, like, in terms of aggression and really pushing up once that zone was in their hands and stuff. They weren't a very mobile. They weren't very mobile in that game, which makes sense for the weapons they were playing. But like you said, I'm wondering how that'll affect them in clams a little bit.
I'm really interested to see on what swapping the Squiffer out is going to be bringing to the table, because as it stood, the Squiffer was really just kind of the frontliner alongside that custom X-Blosher here. Now, let's take a look and see what Noah's going to be bringing to the table here. And we do have a double bucket comp coming out from VC, same comp as ever for MSCHF, but that bucket along with a swap to the oh my god, is it Inkling? It is Inkling. It's almost like I've got a bow main in my ear telling me that the names of all
I hear a mysterious voice speaking to me.
Shout out Wings.
Yes, shout out. All right, so we're looking at our first skirmish in mid here, and that's going to be two going down on the side of MSCHF here, possibly giving VC a little bit of a chance to get their ground here. A lot of aggression over here from the Dapples. I'm not going to say 6-7, sorry. And that's going, but not quite able to make too much of it yet. However, MSCHF still on the back foot a little bit here. Tri-Strike's going out just to push them back a little bit more, presumably to give VC a little bit more of a chance to build a power clam. Everybody's kind of hanging on to their own clams right now, but no power clam in existence just yet. We'll see if they're able to make that happen here. But you know what? That felt like a little bit of a missed opportunity. I don't know if I'm crazy there.
No, I definitely see where VC could have been able to build a power clam and push forward. Now, Happy here on that top mid is going to be able to drop those Sippies in ideal position, making sure that the rest of their teammates do end up getting at least a little bit of a drink of that Tacticooler before getting pushed down by MSCHF pushing forward. We do see those those tri-strikes coming out, and it's not looking like anyone's really got any sort of advantage here. It's just kind of been a stalemate. Now, Happy here, like you said, the aggression from those Dapple Doolies, really nice double here. The aggression from those Dapple Doolies is not unwarranted. They've got what I like to call the grab and go gameplay here, where they drop that cooler somewhere and then just go for it and be the Doolies main that we all know and love to see. Now, speaking of Doolies mains, the Tetras dropped into that death pit, and unfortunately they do end up going down, but I believe they did end up trading with the Stringer here. Moving forward, MSCHF does end up breaking that basket with a single power clam to their name, and
that's going to be the special. That's the Clamblitz special here. At least that's what it seems like right now. Yes, indeed. It looks like I Like You going to try to... I don't know if they actually had clams on them there, but unfortunately not able to secure that push. Although, wow, VC with a triple there, able to get 3 down over on MSCHF and quickly make their way over to their basket. And that is already quite a few clams going in, and the Super Chumps coming in as well to really lock things down. So, wow, yeah, there's a solid push.
Super solid, and the push does not stop now. Jason is going to be spreading out those clams to try and lure that pity clam over into the basket here, but it seems like nobody's picked up the pity to try and pop it in for extra points. Now, we do see just barely at the last possible second, another clam goes in to keep that basket wide open. Now, Nightmare is just tag teaming with Noah here to try and keep that basket open, but it is not going to be open for very much longer now. 35-80, super duper solid push from Calling Out in VC as they do end up going 2 down. MSCHF has 2 specials in their back pocket, looking to maybe try and get a really nice push and potentially knock VC out of this and force a match point.
Make that 4 specials with that Tacticooler coming out, and things are set up for MSCHF to make something happen. Unfortunately, one going to go down already, going to pop that triple splashdown, not able to pick anybody off with it, and unfortunately going to get punished right after that. Able to get that power clam in there, but another special there, and I'm not talking about the ultimate kind of special, and that's not going to be a successful push for MSCHF. That was looking great for them, but things just fell apart, unfortunately.
Yeah, and now Calling Out has another pity clam to work with here. We're already down to 7 points, just a couple clams into the basket, and Calling Out in VC is crazy, has made the crazy move of just knocking out MSCHF for a 1-1 tie here on our finals. That means we're going to be forcing a game 4 here with the super duper solid gameplay. I feel like switching that Squiffer out for that bucket was the play.
That was indeed the move. I'm calling things out in VC right now, and I feel crazy about it. That was a great game
Good
two,
one,
an
good one.
adjustment there for calling out in VC. Like you said, the switch from the Squiffer there, as well as bringing in that bucket. The extra aggression there, they saw the writing on the wall for that, and possibly how their comp played in the last game. I don't know if they were running that for the whole tournament or what. Maybe they got a little big for their britches or something with that first game. But regardless, they did make that adjustment, which is good to see. And now we're going to be moving on to TC Inkblot, which I'm sure MSCHF is very happy about.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, they won the last TC Inkblot that they played in this tournament, and I believe we were the ones to commentate for it as well.
Indeed.
So MSCHF probably back up to their same old tricks here over on Inkblot Art Academy, but I feel like some MSCHF, you could say. VC, I feel like, can really run with this, especially due to the custom explo on their side. I feel like your bats are a playground when you've got something like that in the defense, because it's, first of all, it's a really small space, which is advantageous for more of the quicker, like, killing weapons like our skirmishers typically are, and you want to be in the bats for tower control to help mitigate some of that damage and take some of that attention away from the tower to push it towards that goal area. But with the evil and intimidating custom X-Splosher standing in their way, I feel like it might be a little bit hard to get really too deep into bats, you know?
Yeah, though I do have to wonder how fast can, I'm not as up on this, how fast can an Explo take, like bring down a bubbler? Because I feel like
I have no clue.
Yeah, I feel like yeah, okay, great. We have somebody on the case, everyone.
We have somebody on the case.
You, Wings. But, you know, whether we find out in game right now or from Wings' research, we will see. But we are moving on to our next game here, and it's going to be Gal coming out. And yeah, same comp coming out from calling out in VC.
Yeah, similar comps from both of these teams. Now, we're sticking with that ink line, as well as, like you said, the Gal is going to be coming out. Those whales are going to be absolutely pivotal for making sure that calling out does not stand still in one place, which is what you want the Explosher to be doing. Noah does end up getting a really good pick onto that junior. 2 down on MSCHF now. We're just moving forward fast as heck. Now, tower control is one of those modes where it is, technically speaking, a lot slower than, say, Clam Blitz would be. And I feel like they're really going to use that comp to their advantage here. Nightmare does end up setting up in a really nice spot, grabs some sippies, and then ends up going down to that Reef Slider. Now, we do see kind of a dualies fight there, but the Tetras do win over the Dapples, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, you know, I'm seeing a lot of specials coming out from calling out in VC right now, and I don't think they're quite ready to capitalize on them. We saw the Tri-Strikes over there. Everybody was up on Plat. And right before that, there was the Super Trumps. Everybody was still on Plat or push far back. They're getting, I don't know if they're getting a little bit antsy or what, but things are getting popped a little bit early in order for their teams Happy just barely able to get away from that. I feel like I felt that. I felt like I felt the ink of that bomb splat. Anyway,
I was a little clinched.
Yeah. All right. So all that being said, VC is going to be at their first push here, able to make it through. Not quite. Hello. Okay. Jason managed to make it up there. All right. Jason manages to make it up onto that tower and get through that first checkpoint there. However, that push is going to be stopped. This is a very interesting game of tower control Inkblot. I feel like I'm looking at right now, Carney.
It's very tug of war. It's very like, it feels less like a game of tower control and more like a game of keep away, if I'm being honest with you, because both of these teams are just kind of ignoring the objective. We're already like 2 minutes into the match and nobody except for VC has broken first check, but MSCHF is trying to make that statistic change here. We are going to be going past first check maybe here, 76-73. They do end up losing the tower, just barely not being able to make it past calling out's paltry 73 that remaining to get into that KO position. But everyone's just kind of focused on each other instead of the tower, which is really interesting.
Feel good? Do you need to like talk something out a little bit? It feels like everybody's just like really mad at each other right now. That's a joke, of course. But let's see if Mischief is able to make something happen here. Unfortunately, that bubbler, clearly they had a mind. Clearly they had a mind there to use that bubbler getting around that elbow. Going to get shut down by the tri-strikes there. Reef Slider going to come out, not able to pick anybody off, and that's 2 down on the side of Mischief. And once again, they're not able to make it around that elbow, and that's going to be another dead push. What am I? This feels like I'm looking at a different couple teams from the last 2 games. I don't know if I'm crazy right now.
No, I feel like the way that these 2 teams have played this entire match has changed significantly over what we saw over the past 2 games. Now, we do see both of these teams just absolutely going in for the bloodbath first and foremost, as opposed to the tower, which is the main objective of the game. If I remember correctly, we are playing tower control. Now we do see that pencil being pushed onto that tower. Noah here trying to get a pick, does not end up doing so, but pops those tri-strikes as a last sort of Hail Mary to try and get Mischief away from that second check. Now we do see Mischief go into second check, and it's already a minute left on the clock, and we're only past a checkpoint 2. What a weird game of tower control this is.
Well, yeah, maybe I was about to say maybe it looks like the game is finally happening, but once again, it looks like things are going to get shut down there. It's like it's almost as if there's a lot of aggression, but also a lot of caution. I don't know. I feel like I'm seeing hesitance here in a lot of ways. But that's unfortunately, it looks like going to be another. Well, I mean, yeah, going to lose most of the progress on that push there. But 3 down. Luckily for Mischief, 3 going to go down for calling out in VC. But what I'd really like to see here is, so they have 2 specials ready now. If they can. First of all, let's see a bubbler on that tower actually, no, they have lead right now. I don't know what I'm talking about. And we have 5 seconds left. All they have to do is be careful here and not let things go into overtime. And it doesn't look like that's going to happen as 3 are down on the side of calling out in VC. I got so distracted by the general ebb and flow of that game there. I wasn't catching just how little time there was in that game. But that was a curious game there.
Strange and unusual game of tower control for sure. I'm kind of flabbergasted by how it was almost like too aggressive to focus on the actual objective of the game. I feel like we spent a lot of time skirmishing in mid and not a lot of time on the tower, which worked out in the favor of Mischief because we managed to push it all the way to that 60-ish mark, going past checkpoint 2, but all of that was in the last minute and 30 left of the game, which is kind of insane considering that this is Inkblot Art Academy tower control, which is known for being a pretty volatile tower control map. Now, hopefully we'll see some more normal gameplay here as we move back into Clamblitz on Scorch Gorge, but considering the fact that Scorch Gorge is, Scorch Gorge, I wouldn't be surprised to see more of the sort of skirmishy thing that they've got going on. Now, we are at match point, which means that if Mischief does win this game, then that means they're going to be I feel kind of weird calling it an upset, even though it technically is because they're our lower seeded team, but they definitely don't show it.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I'm not too familiar with the players here, so I don't know if it's just because there's less history to make note of here or what for the seeding, but either way, they're definitely showing their stuff right now. And let me tell you, if any of them watch back this VOD and hear the comms, let's no harm, no foul for that last game, guys. Because I feel like some of they're gonna be like, what? I don't know how to articulate it, but I feel like you're gonna look back and see what are they even saying about the way we're playing this TC game. Anyway, I'm yammering on. Let's go on to Clam's Scorch Gorge here, and once again, that's gonna be. Yeah. What are you looking at?
we swapped from the Sea Explo to the Vanilla
Yes.
Explo.
Yep, indeed we did. And what do you think they're thinking with that?
I'm thinking it is time to make some pain and make it rain here, because that Inkstorm is, I feel like, a really good choice for Scorch Gorge, especially with that little open area in the middle right before ramp. I feel like they can really capitalize on that.
I think you are exactly right, Carney, and we're already going to see Nightmare up here. Unfortunately, not going to pop that rain just yet because it's going to be taken down by Ilu? I don't know. I'm so sorry. But that is going to be a little bit of a push up here for MSCHF. That wall is going to come out and give them some more space. That's a pretty good place to have your whale set up when you want your team to be pushing up here. However, they don't have a power clam in order to capitalize on that just yet. And that is going to be, they're not quite able to take advantage of all those specials that they pop there.
I feel like it was a little bit of a disconnect because we had a really solid setup for a really solid push with the whale and wall combo that the 52 had brought out. But like you said, there wasn't a power clam to really capitalize on that whole thing. And it kind of seemed like it was a little too early, dare I say. Now we see that MSCHF is going to be on that ramp area. They have most of the clam economy under their control. Gets a really nice pop into that basket. We're looking like we're going to toss another power clam in there, and the clams are going to start coming in hot and ready. 3 do end up going down on MSCHF, which means that the push is unfortunately over for them, but they did have the sippies set up beforehand, so they're already right back into it.
Yeah, call those clams a meal from Little Caesars because they were hot and they were ready, like you said. But and you know what? That was a major improvement from the push before it. The bubbler, great timing. People were able to back up. You had a power clam, pop the bubbler there at an advantageous angle. Your team is right behind you, and then that reef slider is in there to really cinch things down and able to secure that push there. So much better timing for that one, and felt like better coordination. We're going to have to see if calling out can respond in tow. Those super chumps are going to come out, and we're going to see, not too much going on right now. Things are still pretty neutral.
Yeah, but 2 down on calling out means that MSCHF has a chance to push forward into that ramp and potentially get some more points on the board. Now that you've mentioned Little Caesars, I've just suddenly had a craving for crazy bread, so thanks for that.
So sorry.
We do see that the tri-strikes are going to be in the back pocket here. Noah tossing them out as a protection tactic like we saw in that last game here. I feel like throwing them out is better than dying with them, but at least you should be able to make them count a little bit. Nightmare here is going to be just getting kind of bullied underneath that ledge here. You'd think Nightmare would be the one doing the bullying, but 2 down on MSCHF means that it is now calling out's time to shine, as we do get a really solid pick on to I Like You, but
not quite soon enough though. It felt like that felt like they were just barely behind. They had their power clam ready. There were 2 down. There was some solid coordination there with the rain pushing one member of MSCHF back there, and who was then able to be finished off by the bucket. But unfortunately, they just came back too soon. And you know what? Speaking about coming back, they have another push ready right now. Although not quite as many. We're going to see if they got more clams coming in there. And wait a minute. Hold up. I apologize once again. I was not ready for the speed at which MSCHF was ready to close that game out. They have just taken our grand finals.
Holy moly, MSCHF up to some silly business underneath that clam basket there, because like you said, MSCHF has just won our SOS this week. Congratulations, you are our top dogs of the Great White Bracket. And like I said, it feels kind of weird to call it an upset because technically they are the lower seed, but that gameplay was absolutely insane. But let's not count out VC either. We did see some really solid games from them before previously, and getting all the way up into finals is no easy feat. And they did manage to chip one off of MSCHF as well.
Indeed. Yes. No, absolutely. great work across this tournament to both teams. That was an interesting set to watch there. Unfortunately, not going to be able to see that zones on ship shape, but congratulations to both teams and great showing from MSCHF here. But that's, I think, gonna do it for us. Yeah, we're gonna be signing out. In terms of plugs and stuff, you find me on Blue Sky at naxethan.bluesky.social and on Twitch at naxethan if you want. Every once in an eon I stream there. But Carney, how about you?
You can find me over at carnivai.bsky.social or over here on IPL in the Ludi off season. I will also be maybe doing some stuff potentially on my Twitch if I manage to ever figure out how to get stream stuff working.
So true.
It would be ethereal _ carnival over on my Twitch if you want to go and check me out. But before we sign out, there is one more person that I feel like we should bring mention to here, because shout out to Wings, our goated streamer, being able to stream us for this SOS, even if it was just the Great White Bracket, is always appreciated, and it always is so much of a pleasure to be in your presence, Wings.
Indeed. Yay. All right. I think that's going to do it for us, but have yourselves a good night. Take care, and we will see you at the next SOS.